YouTube Live is now downloading. Okay, good afternoon, traders. You can hear me. I think the live YouTube is on. Good. Okay, you guys can see the live YouTube. Somebody give me yes, please, and we'll go from there. Okay, let me start the recording and let's go. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this special session. We're planning on doing this on a daily basis. It's going to be one chart, give you some details into the chart, give you the trade setup I'm looking for, and we go from there. So before I start, remember you're going to get, we don't have a fixed time for this, so you can always get the time. It's probably going to be spontaneous. We don't know what time I'll be free. So you can get the time from my ProWave page. Don't worry, I don't post anything else but links in here. I don't have time for social media, so you're going to either get the link for the webinar, or you're going to get the YouTube video. That's all you're going to get there. Same with the Twitter account. You can follow me here. All you're going to get, if you look at all my tweets, they're all just the weekly webinar, nothing else, and the link to these webinars. So you will get a daily link to these webinars. If you follow me in any one of those two, you wouldn't miss it. That's all. I don't post anything else on Twitter. Don't worry. You're not going to get 100 tweets from me. I don't have the time for that. Right? I barely find time to do the minimum things I'm doing, right? No, Sunday webinar will still be on. Sunday webinar is looking at all the videos, the charts. Today we're only going to look at New Zealand. It's a single chart today, right? So I hope I can do this pretty fast. Let's go. I'll do it the way it's different from how we're going to do the weekly webinar, because I'm going to go into the entire structure here. So hopefully every day I can do one. That means if I do one every day, I do about 4 to 50 charts. So that will be 4 to 50 days before we repeat the next chart. By then, I think you can repeat the next chart again, right? So what we're looking at, if you look at the New Zealand, it's a big, big, big move coming from the top there in the yearly before you come down, right? And then they're making this correction here. We've made this correction here, and it seems like they're making a correction to the downside now. Eventually, this correction might become a more complex one, which means you've got an impulse, you've got a correction, you've got an impulse, you're getting correction, you probably get another impulse, and you'll start to make some kind of a corrective structure like this to the upside. It's going to be something that will be complex there. We'll probably still be in this here for a while and then go. So this is like a long-term, very, very long-term forecast, how this chart could develop, right? And we will follow it. By the way, these forecasts works amazing. So just to let you know, let's go in the weekly. And people may say, well, why do you do those long-term forecasts? Most of them might not work. But actually, if you're looking at my charts and following me in TradingView, where I'm not anymore because of my likeness to speak the truth, so people don't like that. So if you look at this, was a forecast that was posted in TradingView a while back. See? Same thing here. We said that's a move up. We're looking for this one. We're looking for this. And we expect this to make a correction here before it goes. Well, let's go take a look at that, what happened. We can actually click the chart on TradingView to see what happens. See? The magic of understanding how structure should behave. That's all. Forget about trading, forget about anything else, because today we're not talking about trading. Today we're talking about understanding how structures should behave, right? So people, you will hear people out there say, you can't forecast the charts. It's all random. Nobody knows what it's going to do. Yeah, you might not know exactly what it's going to do at any particular moment, but you understand the general behavioral pattern of charts. And if you understand that, good. You know how it should behave. You understand how what to expect next. And then you go into this and you try to figure out if you can trade in that, or should you wait for this trade coming down. So if we were right about this going up the way it goes up, which is a consolidation, what are the probabilities we're going to be right about this coming down here? You see how easy it is? That's it. You had enough time to know, right? Because this chart was posted when? I mean, way back. What was the date, by the way, when that chart was posted? You can go look at it, right? I don't know. What was the date we posted? Look the date, 2015, 25th of October, 2015. That was exactly 2 years ago, right? We're in October, we're in November already. So 2 years ago, I tell you what that chart would do. Today, you have proof that it did exactly what I told you it was going to do. See the magic of it? Now I tell you, it is about to come back to the downside. We are not quite sure that the correction is over, but we follow it on a daily basis and we understand when it's going to be over. So let's go do exactly that. Tell you what it's going to do next. So the good question you're going to ask, when we break the structure, are we ready to go? And not exactly, because if you understand structure and when you get into a group, you'd understand that this could be a consolidation for one more up here before they go down. Right? I'm not going to go into the very details of it because that's a long process of teaching you all the structures and how they behave and all of that. But we can trade this daily because we've been trading this one down. If you're following me in all my webinars, we'll be saying trade down, right? So let's go to the daily. And in the daily, you can see what they're doing. Coming down. Remember when they started to go up, we said, guys, watch, this structure is going to go down. It's going to go down. And guess what? You have a perfect sell setup here now, right? So on a daily basis, if you trade daily, none of you trade daily here, but if you trade on a daily basis, I'll take this off. You can see that you're getting a perfect sell setup here. Whenever that is over, you're getting one more impulse to the downside. At least one more impulse. How big that impulse is going to be or how short, we don't know. We don't have to know that. We'll watch it how it behaves, and then we'll make a decision whether this is going to go back up or whether this is going to continue to go by giving us more flags, more corrections, and continue to go. See? So potentially it could go one more up because we're looking at the structure. I don't think it's going to go, but potentially it can go. So we're not going to go into the very details, but you can see that you would have managed, like this one was a sell setup. We saw that sell setup coming here. Now that was a sell there. If you look at a short-term trade, that was a nice sell setup. That was a sell. It's in a downtrend. Look for a sell setup. There were a number of sell setups here that probably would have given you break even. There was a sell setup there that we got a few trades only on. And now we're starting the sells here, right? So this was a sell setup. I don't know how many of you were following me and remember this. This was a good sell setup that we took. So this is a good sell setup. So your trade that you are going to get for this week or next week would be that sell. But you don't trade it daily, right? So let's go into the 4-hour. And you can see we're looking at that structure on a 4-hour basis, what it's doing. You could have got a short-term buy if you wanted. You could have got another short-term buy if you wanted. Those were trades we identify in our trading room on a daily basis. And there's a possibility that this might give you a short-term if it breaks. If it breaks here, we start looking for sell. But there's a good chance that this here could give you one more up before it comes down. So we go to the 1-hour. And in the 1-hour, you can see the structure. This was your up trade if you wanted to. We saw that. We did not take. I didn't take it. I'm not interested in the short-term trades. I'm interested in that break. So you can see that we're making some kind of a consolidation here. This could come down here, but that's 15 minutes trade. I don't trade that. And then potentially you could get one more up here. Now you may want to take this one because this could, that might be the trade, the only trade you get on this chart this week if it goes up. So you could potentially look for this trade here. And then if that happens, you get out at the top here for profit, and then you wait to see whether that starts to fall to the downside, right? So how long can this thing go up on this, on a lower time frame on this before you get the fall, which you will get? That downside is coming. There's no question of whether you're going to get that impulse to the downside. The question is, how long would this do that? Well, we're monitoring this, and I don't think it's going to go very long more up, right? So we can expect one more up here, and then we're going to expect the downside. So keep your eyes on it, monitor it. Your trade for this week would be probably this one if you get it. If you don't get that and they start to break here, don't just jump in the trade. Remember, this is a big structure. It's not a flag. You would have to wait for them to come here, make some consolidations here out of that structure, and then you will start to look for your sells, right? That would confirm. So what would that look like? Let me bring it up here for you. So you'd have to let them break that structure. You would have to wait for one of these flags here. You see that flag there? You will have to wait for this flag. Any one of those flags would be a good sell setup. You will get one when it breaks the structure. Rarely they go without breaking the structure and don't making a flag after that. And we're talking about huge structures. So when they break this structure here, you get a flag here, you get a flag here. So if you took this trade and you had a stop there, that was a good one to the downside. And if you understand where it's going to go, you wouldn't panic and close it here. You'll probably keep it. Right? So when this starts to go, you don't panic and close it for 10 pips because it is not going to go for 10 pips. When I said it might go short, I mean probably, I don't know, somewhere to about a 270. You can fib that for the 270. Let's fib it just for the purpose of fibbing. Fib it to the 270. You're probably going to get to about here. And then they're going to tell you what to do, right? So that's your trade for the day. Well, not for the day, but at least for the week because we are looking at a long-term chart. On a 1-hour chart, you know what to do, right? Your trade for day, if it happens, if they go up, you're going to get one here. You can take that. That's probably 50 or 60 pips, and then you get out for profit because you don't expect this to go up forever. and then you start to look for the downside. Now, what if you're in that trade? Here's what some people say. Oh, he says it's going to go down and look at make a big spike up. Most of them, 50 pips here would be the world of a big spike. They start panicking. He says there's a down trade and look, this thing is taking. So what if you're in this thing here, you bought and you're going for 50 pips, but instead it did that? Good luck to you. Take your profit. It's still going to go down. That has not changed the structure. All they did was make a spike, and that spike will reverse itself. It's not like you've never seen a spike reverse itself, right? You see that big move up? Nobody says that this thing cannot make a huge spike, and then reversed everything, right? So if it does make a huge spike, you're going to get a reversal. So we made it in 11 minutes. I'm hoping that it's going to be about 15 minutes. So we still have 4 minutes. Any questions? Let's go pretty fast. I'll take about 2 or 3 questions and then we'll go. I can do this on every chart once every day, so you guys are gonna have an idea. Remember to if you want the link, because it might be spontaneous, you will have to either on Twitter or in Pro keep, set it up so you get a ping when I make you get a notification when I make the when I post the links. It's going to be like an hour before, right? We will try to get these out, but some of them might be so fast, which means the trade might be active while we are doing this. Today, this trade is not active while we're doing it, so you don't have to worry about it. You'll have enough time to take the trade. But sometimes the trade will be active, and you may want to be in the room to get it, right? Weekly and monthly, especially. Yeah, we'll do them. We'll take all the time in it. We'll go through the whole thing. I'm just giving you the basics of what it does. What we actually do in our trading room is we do it more details. I'm explaining why we look at each piece, how we look at the structure, what is the pattern, and how we think it's going to change. I cannot do that in here, right? Because you do not have the knowledge of how we look at structures, right? So that is, that's left for the trading room. One day I'll probably do a webinar on what we do in our trading room, give you an in-depth look of what we do in there. So let me stop this recording. We don't want it to be too long. I'll stop it right there. 12 minutes is more than enough, 12, 15 minutes. So I will stop the live.